Dear students, how are you all? So in this video we will talk about the comparison of mixer and compound. Mixer and compound. Okay, so first of all you have to understand that what is mixer and what is compound. Then we will talk about the first parameter, and you can see the mixer. Here I have written mixer. Now you know that mixers we will actually make when the two or more components, it may be elements, it may be compounds, but it should be two or more, when physically intermingled, when physically intermixed, then mixer will form. Okay now, and that mixer, if suppose I will take the example of water, and if I will add some sand into this one, so water plus sand, what it will form? Saline water. Okay now, so we can say this saline water can be separated into its component by physical means. Yes, water and sand can be separated. Water plus sand can be separated by the filtration method. You know, as sand is not soluble, as it will not mix completely. Okay now, if I will left undisturbed for some times, it will settle down at the bottom. So easily by the physical means like filtration, it can be separated out. Yes, it can be separated, and yes, often retain many of the properties of its component. If I will take, instead of that example, if I will take the example of salt plus water, if I will take the example of salt plus water, you know, salt plus water, everywhere salt dotted, I have taken salt in between the water. Okay now, so often retain many of the properties of the component. Suppose one mixer is actually formed, from what? One mixer is formed from this salt plus water. If one mixer is formed, so you know the component, that is salt water is salty water, that one is the mixer, but component is what? Salt plus water. So salt will also retain its properties, water will also retain its properties. So we can say the mixers, what is saline water, and if I will drink that saline water, if I will drink that salty water, then we can say it actually will be the taste, it will contain the taste of the salt, you know, salty. So this is the mixer. Now second thing is compound, and compound, you know, if I write here C plus O2, what it will give? CO2. So you can see first line, what is written? Consists of atoms of two or more different elements. Yes, C is there, oxygen is there. Okay, so every time I have told you that carbon is one element, oxygen is one molecule, so compound can form. So this carbon and oxygen bond together, yes, bond together to form one carbon dioxide, that one is a compound. Okay, then after can be broken down into a simpler type of matter by chemical means. Yes, if I will write the second example, H2 plus O2, and you know it will form H2O, and this H2O cannot broken down by the physical means, it can broken down by the chemical means, like H2O. If H2O will break down into H2O plus, so electrolysis is a method by which it can broken down into simple form. Okay now, simple hydrogen and oxygen. Yes, has properties that are different from its component element. Yes, if I will write here again, if I will write C plus O2, CO2, this is a compound. This compound has different properties, its component has different properties. You know, carbon dioxide is extinguishes the fire, this oxygen is a supporter of fire, carbon is actually act as a fuel. So yes, you know now, so that's why has properties that different from its component element. Okay, always contains the same ratio of its component. Now H2O, you know na, every time 1:8 by ratio. Okay na, yes, always contain the same ratio, it cannot be hydrogen 2, oxygen 3. Yes, it cannot contain by mass like that one. It has every time the 1:8 by ratio, by mass ratio. Okay na, every time. Then you can see the first comparison of mixer on the basis of parameter, types of changes. types of changes. Yes, types of changes. Which type of changes it is? Mixture are formed by physical changes. I have given a sand plus water, salt plus water. It is a physical changes. It is forming saline water. Compounds are formed by chemical changes. Yes, carbon plus oxygen, carbon dioxide, chemical changes. So first parameter, type of changes you have understood. Then after, composition. You can see the composition. Compounds have definite composition, but mixtures have variable composition. Now you can see in this, some shape is oval shape, some is circle, some is point size object, some is dot size shape. In this one you can say same composition there, everywhere definite composition is there. So compounds formed by the definite composition, but this mixture forms from the variable composition. Okay, now you can see next one, nature. If I will talk about the compounds, here I have made compounds, element, you know na, made up of same kind of particles. Yes, compounds and mixture are two types, homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. Compounds, what you are seeing, beautiful diagram it is. You can see that everywhere the two color is uniformly scattered, uniformly, that is arranged. So compound have the fixed ratio by mass. But what you are seeing in the mixture, you can see this is homogeneous mixture. So one particle here, one particle here, one homogeneously same throughout that one. But in the heterogeneous you can see here concentration, here maximum concentration. If you can see that here maximum concentration, where, sorry, composition, yes, you can see here maximum concentration 75%, I can say here. This different color, here you can say 35%, here you can say 40%. Means what you are saying, the composition is varying in that mixers. So that one is heterogeneous. Mixture can be homogeneous, heterogeneous. Okay, next thing, separation. How can you separate that one? Yes, you know that mixer, component mixer, like sand plus water, is there, sand plus water is there. How can you separate that one? Yes, you can separate out with the help of a filtration. Yes, filtration is a method by which we can separate the components of a mixer. But yes, the component of a compound, yes, here it is essential. The component of compound cannot be separated by physical method. Yes, you know, if I write the example of H2O, H2 plus O2, what it will form? It will form H2O. Now you can see here, H2O, water, from the water, by the physical method, we cannot break down into hydrogen and oxygen. Physical method is what? Apply heat and light, whatever. So if you will give the heat to this one, if you will give the heat to H2O, if you will give heat, now you know that H2O is liquid. What it will change into? It will change into H2O gas. So we can say that liquid on heating, it will change into H2O gas, but not H2 and oxygen. So component of that water is hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, now not H2O gas. It is the same form, you can see now, only the changing in state is there. So you should know this. Then we will talk about the fixed formula. Yes, the mixer do not have fixed formula. Yes, as you know, the variable composition is there. We cannot write about the variable composition. Even we don't know, we don't have the idea what are the mixers, different types of mixers actually present in that one. So we can say that one, each compound has a fixed formula. Common salt, H2O, FES, different types of compound you can see, and you will see that elements, molecules, there are fixed number. So we can say each compound has a fixed formula. Okay, so I will say that these are the comparison of mixture and compounds. I will say thank you all of you. Take care of yourself.